Okay, this is section 4.2, writing equations in slope-intercept form. Example 1a, write an equation of the line that passes through 2, 1 with a slope of 3. Now, last night's homework, you were given your m and you were given your b, and it was very easy, you just plug in your m and your b. That is not the case today. You're given your slope, but this point right here, 2, 1, that is not your y-intercept. That is not your b. So we have to find your b. Now what's the equation of the line again? Y equals mx plus b. Where y and x stay y and x. So we have to identify our m, our slope, and we have to identify our b, which is our y-intercept. We don't know our b. So what we're going to do is we are going to plug this point in. This is your x, this is your y. We are going to plug that in to the equation. So y is 1, m is 3, times x is 2, plus b. And then this is a simple solving equations where we're going to solve for b. So we need to multiply 3 times 2, get 6 plus b. Subtract 6 on both sides. 1 minus 6 is a negative 5 is equal to b. Now I found my b. Now I know my b, and I've been given my slope, my m. So now I have to re-plug into this equation. Y equals, what is my m? 3x. Plus b, and b is a negative 5. Would I write it as plus a negative 5 or just minus 5? Minus 5. There is the equation of the line. So let's just review graphing, because you're going to have a quiz on this in a couple of days. Your slope is 3 over 1. Your b is the ordered pair, is the negative 5, which is the ordered pair 0, negative 5. Remember, your y-intercept is always the ordered pair 0, negative 5. So we're going to label the x and y axis. Do not forget to do that. Plot your y-intercept. Now, using the slope is 3 over 1. So we're going to go up 3 to the right 1. How many points do we put? Is 1 enough? We need to put as many as possible that will fit on your grid. Now, what if I needed some points over here? What would I do? Give them both what? Give them both negative. Thank you. So I'm going to go down 3, backwards 1. Okay, so I have a lot of points, so I can make my line. Now make sure that you always check, what is your slope? Is your slope a positive? Your slope is a positive 3, right? So your line should be going upward. And is it? Yes. So don't forget to, that's kind of like a little self-check. Okay, example 1b. Write the equation of the line that passes through 4, negative 7 with a slope of negative 1. Okay, so again, we're going to write our equation of the line, y equals mx plus b. This is your x, this is your y. We're going to plug that into the equation. You know what? I want y'all to do this. Okay, y is negative 7 is equal to m is negative 1 times x is 4 plus b. I'm going to multiply negative 1 times 4 and then get a negative 4 plus b. So to solve for b, add 4 to both sides. And I get negative 3 is equal to b. Am I done? If you leave it right there, you're not finished, because the direction says write an equation of the line. So I have to re-plug this in. So I'm going to plug it right here. So y equals negative 1x minus 3. Or, could I write y equals negative x? Do I have to have the 1? You don't have to have the 1. That's okay. Okay, example 2. Write equation in the line that passes through each pair of points. 3, 1, and 2, 4. Now, in this particular problem, you're given 2 points. What are we going to have to find first? You've got to find your slope first. So we're going to have to find 2 things. We have to find our m and our b. Which one do we find first? The slope. So again, we have to write the formula down. Remember the rules. If you're going to use a formula, you have to write the formula down. So the formula for slope, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 1 minus 4 over 3 minus 2. I did not label, but if you wanted to, you could. 1 minus 4 is a negative 3 over 3 minus 2 is 1. When you have a 1 in the denominator, you can just drop it. So your slope is negative 3. So that is my m. Now what am I going to do? Now I have to find my b now, correct? So again, I'm going to write the equation y equals mx plus b. Now in this case, I have 2 points. Which one do I put in? Or does it matter? It does not matter. You will get the same answer no matter which point you use, because these 2 points both land on the line. So if there's any negatives, I always choose to avoid the negatives, so I wouldn't use the negatives. In this particular problem, we don't have any negatives. So let's go ahead and use 3, 1. So y is 1 is equal to m is negative 3 times 3 plus b. 1 is equal to negative 9 plus b. Add 9 to both sides. So 10 is equal to b. Now I'm going to replug into the equation. So y is equal to negative 3x plus 10. And that is the equation of the line. I'll go too fast. Okay, example 2. I want y'all to try to do this first. Okay, did you get m equals 8? Good. Okay, now do the second part. Okay, so did you get b equals 34? And then you have to replug into the equation y equals 8x plus 34? Yes? No? Okay, example 2. Write the equation line that passes through each pair of points. Now here you're given a slope, and the slope is a fraction. So let's see if we can do this with fractions. So write y equals mx plus b. Your y is negative 2. Your m is 2 over 7 times x is 2, and I'm going to put it 2 over 1 because anytime I'm multiplying fractions, I put it over 1, plus b. Okay, let's multiply. That's negative 2 is equal to 4 over 7 plus b. Now, we've got 2 options here. What do I suggest you do when you have fractions? It was on the poster that just fell. Clear your fractions, remember? You can do that. But in this case, it's probably not the fastest. I'm going to do it both ways so y'all can see. All we have to do is get b by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4 over 7 from both sides. So let's do it this way first. Now this is negative 2 over 1. So when we are adding or subtracting fractions, what do we have to get, class? common denominator. What's the least common denominator of 1 and 7? 7. So really and truly, I only have to change this fraction. This already has a 7. So can I just change it right here to the side of it? Okay. So what would that numerator be? Don't forget the negative. It's a negative 14. Okay? 1 goes into 7 times. 7 times a negative 2 is a negative 14. Are y'all with me on that? Okay. So now I'm ready to combine these. Negative 14 sevenths and a negative 4 over 7 is a negative 18 over 7 is equal to B. Now, that's an improper fraction. Do I have to turn into a mixed number? You can, you don't have to. It wouldn't be wrong if you did. If I was graphing, then you have to turn it into a mixed number. Okay? So, the equation is y equals 2/7 x minus 18 over 7. Now, let's go right here. Let's go right here and do it the other way by clearing our fractions. Are y'all writing this down? So let's go ahead and clear our fractions and do it the other way and see if we get the same answer. So that would be negative 2 over 1 and b over 1, correct? I'm going to clear my fractions by multiplying each term by the least common denominator. What is my least common denominator? 7. So that would be a negative 14 is equal to the 7's go away. You get 4 plus 7b. Now I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. That's a negative 18 is equal to 7b. Divide by 7. And you get negative 18/7 is equal to b. So did you get the same answer? So some of you might prefer to do it this way. Some of you like, oh, I just want to get rid of my fractions right off the top. I don't care which way you do. All you need to do is copy down the table for this example. Example 3A, the table shows the average fares for domestic flights in certain years. Write an equation that could be used to predict airfares if fares continue to increase at this rate. Okay, what I'm going to do for the year 2004, let's start this at 2000. So instead of using 2004, we're just going to say the year is 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. So that would be the ordered pair 4, 354. The next ordered pair is 5, 366, 6, 378, and so on. So it says write an equation to predict the airfares. An equation, again, what is the slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. Now remember when we talked about slope? Slope is also considered rate of change. When you're dealing with money, it's referred to as rate of change, not necessarily slope. How do we find our slope? Using the slope formula. So we can pick, now we're given, how many points are we given in this table? We're given 4 points. We only need what? 2. So let's find our slope. I'm going to use the first 2 points. So that's 354 minus 366 over 4 minus 5. And 354 minus 366 is what? Negative 12 over a negative 1. So what is negative 12 divided by negative 1? 12. Positive 12. So what is that? Remember, slope is also referred to as the rate of change. What do y'all think that means? we need to find our b. So we're going to go and write y equals mx plus b. We know our m. We have to find our b. Now, you can use either point you want. I'm going to just use the first point. So I'm going to use the 354. So y is 354 is equal to m is 12 times x is 4 plus b. So 354 is equal to 48 plus b. Subtract 48 from both sides. And 354 minus 48 is what? 306 is equal to b. So my equation is y equals 12x plus 306. Now what exactly does that mean? Does anyone know? Remember what I told you that we're going to start in the year 2000? So in the year 2000, that would be the ordered pair. What is your y-intercept? 0, what? 306. So what does that mean? Thank you. In the year 2000, it cost $306 to fly. And then it increased by 12 every single year. So the next, it says, use the equation to estimate the cost of airfares in 2013. So 2013 is how many years? 13. So what are we going to do? Plug in 13 for x. So use your calculator. 12 times 13 is equal to 156 plus 306 is equal to what? $462. So in 2013, it's going to cost $462 to fly. Okay, in example 3b, go ahead, copy this down. In addition to his weekly salary, Ethan is paid $16 per delivery. Last week he made 5 deliveries and his total pay was $215. Write a linear equation to find Ethan's total weekly pay T if he makes D deliveries. We have an ordered pair, X and Y, but instead of X and Y, what's replacing X? D for deliveries, and T is replacing Y for the total pay. So instead of Y equals MX plus B, it will be T equals MD plus B, right? So do we know our slope, our M? Yes, it's 16. But what we don't know is our total pay, and we don't know our delivery, our y-intercept. Could we plug in some things? Could we make this 5 deliveries and total pay was $215? Could we put that in an ordered pair? 5 deliveries, total pay is $215. Could we think of that as an ordered pair? Okay, and then plug it in. So T is $215, M is 16, deliveries is 5 plus B. So that's $215 is equal to 16 times 5 is 80, I do believe. Subtract 80 on both sides. And we get 135 is equal to B. Okay, so let's plug that in here. That's T is equal to M is 16 per delivery plus $135. This is your last problem. So what does that mean? Okay, so 16 deliveries, 16, D stands for the deliveries, and his 135 is his weekly salary. And they didn't ask any more questions, but if they did ask how much money would he make, let's add this. How much would he make if he made 20 deliveries in that 1 week? Find his salary if he made 20 deliveries. 16 times 20 plus the 135. 16 times 20 is $320 plus 135. So how much did he make? $455. So if he was a really smart cookie, what would he do? Make as many deliveries as possible. Right? Okay, that is the end of section 2.